Hello dogs, Little Dog right here, right now. Welcome back to Magical Eyes, Red is for Anguish. Last time we were here, a freaking dog got the crap beat out of it. We witnessed a fight, and the first encounter of the doll. I figured out the identity of the doll. The first phone call of the morning brings me the good news that I've been waiting for. Now does she do, the best shop ever. Can you drop by today? Sure will. I'm going to Pop's first though. Actually, I wish I could get to Nanashi right away. He said Roku had some big news to share. I live by the proverb, time is money. You have some nerve to keep me waiting. You should feel guilty and make up for it. You should cough up some cash. You're being super blunt, aren't you? Just kidding, actually, I'm the one who must repay you as much as I can. You mean the deal we made? No, consider this customer support. To tell the truth, the advice I passed along to you the other day turned out to be half right and half wrong. It was a defective piece of merchandise. What does he mean exactly? And my merchant's pride cannot stand it. Not as she do, by all means. Provides his customers with what they pay for. How cool of you. You sound like a different person from the one who begged me for cash 10 seconds ago. This is this and that is that. Anyway, I'll try to come over there as soon as I can. I'll be waiting. Alright. Two minutes to the time that Roku should. Just like always, Moron is just the cutest. Cut out that bizarre song, will you? Good morning. Everyone but the main figure seemed to be present. Hi-yo, high schooler. You're here? You're already here, huh? My place is closer than yours. Just for today, I was going to leave home 10 minutes early. But Moran insisted on coming with me, and it took that long to talk her out of it. I could have just brought her. She's a big help, not a hindrance at all. Now, the Sojima case is something I have to take care of. I can't put her at any possible risk, so I'm going to keep going without her. You have a clear line drawn there, Rin. You know what's even better? Super awesome imagining her worried and anxiously waiting for me back home. Your devastating adorableness. You all must see it. No, I don't want anybody to see it. No worries, you should be the only one that she shows that to. I fully support Vop's observation. The way Rin expresses his love for Curry is crazy, but the way she expresses her love for him is just as insane. By the way, where the heck is the one responsible for this gathering? It's 9:59:40, so he'll be here any second, I guess. In exactly 20 seconds. It's not 10 yet, is it? I see everybody's here. See, just as usual. Right, you are. Wait a moment. Roku, aren't you injured? On your side and your upper right arm? You wasn't hurt there yesterday. Good lord, I was trying to pretend I was fine, but you even pinpointed the places. You were walking funny. Nicely done, high schooler. I literally had no idea. Junior really is good at it, and you're paying too little attention. I can't believe you can fight with your stance and level of observation. So what happened? You mean these wounds? I got them when I fought our little doll last night. What? What an explosive statement. I can understand your surprise. You're shocked that I couldn't bring it down, huh? But I was there to protect a woman who knew the shop owner, so I had to put her ahead of the doll. That's not it. Well, what is it then? We're all surprised the fact that you had to fight with a doll. Are you sure it was the doll? Yes, judging from what I found during the fight, it was neither a hallucination nor a disguise. The intelligence department will provide more details on the doll's strength later. I'm probably going to face it too, so I'll need to check that report. There's no doubt about it now. What the shop owner says is true, and there actually is a doll that attacks people. Because we have a living witness right here. I think it's too early to decide that. Huh? I confirmed that the doll had a large variety of battle techniques. I don't think they derived from martial arts, but it was capable of moving like a human being well experienced in fighting. Besides that, the doll unceremoniously retreated before receiving much damage, as if it figured out the difference in strength between me and itself. Variants who won't back down unless they take huge damage, will they? That's right, they'll try to force themselves through. So are you trying to say someone's controlling the doll? All I can tell is I had the feeling that the doll was fighting just like a human. Roku's opinion matches what Nanashi the expert explained to me the other day. There are human intentions behind the doll. Well, the fight really was such a surprising development, but that doesn't change the outline of the whole case we've got so far, does it? Yeah, you're right. We more or less knew the doll wasn't ordinary. We originally had two theories. Either the doll possessed some malignant power or someone was manipulating it. We still can't figure that out even after Roku actually had a fight with the doll. You could say that we virtually haven't gotten anything new for the investigation. Aside from this, I now understand why you called Junior and Suzunari in here saying it's an emergency, Roku. No, there's something else that I have to share with them. If this were about the doll, only you would have sufficed. I also brought in Yin because of the fake Sojima. Got anything new? Yes, we have more intel on that may be related to him. Roku takes out a large, thick envelope. It seems to be full of pictures. These are pictures of Sojima's family, friends, and co-workers. We only picked the men out. Seriously? Do I have to check out this many? You gotta reciprocate all their effort in collecting those. I think I'll work on this with May. Rin casually opens the envelope and takes out a ton of photos in different sizes. That's a group picture. You even got one of those, huh? It seems to be newly taken pictures come first. The group picture has about 30 people in it. It's gonna take a while to check them all. He doesn't seem to have such a big network, so the number would be much lower if we removed those who aren't close to him, but all the pictures need checking just in case the fake guy isn't one of them. I assume that's the point. Nope, I don't even need the time it takes to make an easy origami. This is the guy I met. Ren points at the man in the picture on top of the pile. The man is standing at a distance from the other, staring at the camera lens with an emotionless expression. Are you sure it's him? Absolutely. I don't mind having May and his boon buddies confirm it as well if necessary. Way to go, Ren. Who would have thought we would have reached the man this soon? All we need to do is find this man and have him come clean about his disguise as Sojima. Oh boy, this is a problem. What is wrong with you two? You're both frowning. Of course we'd be frowning. This bastard has been messing around with us. Even Pops looks irritated as the figure in the picture. Is there some problem with that person? Yeah, a gigantic problem. His name is Tamura. He was one of Sojima's colleagues, and he's one of the missing owners of the doll. What? Holy crap! What a revelation. Alrighty then. That's, wow. Hello there. Sorry I'm late. A lot of things happened over there. Pardon me. Oh, you came along, Kashiwaba? Thank you for your service the other day. Not a problem at all. You're one of my most important customers. Is that so? There's that line again. Freaking, is that so? It is. I usually don't have anything to do with material variants, but I came here to buy a gift for Akane. You're the most fabulous partner in the world. I'm not going to buy anything today, though. You can go screw yourself. Can't say that to one of your most important customers, Nanashi. Come on, it's just a silly little sales pitch. Who would think of it as a sales pitch? That kind of pure verbal abuse gets you the guilty verdict when put on trial. By the way, you. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to have Ruku in on this talk too. That's what you want, I have no problem with it. This is going to be a bit complicated, so let me explain from the beginning, okay? As soon as he showed me the picture of the doll, I came up with his creator. Because he and his works are only known among particular enthusiasts. His name is Miyama Semimaru, the doll maker who flourished about 100 years ago. The unique features of his work has enchanted some people and turned them into rabid fans since from his beginning of his career to present day. However, also because of that unique feature, he could not produce that many dolls while alive. He was working as a doll artist in an inland area of the prefecture 100 years ago. I think it'd be impossible to trace all the owners of the doll. 100 years. If the doll started what it's doing now from the moment it was born, the number of victims would be frightening. No, if there's a mastermind behind it, the age of the doll doesn't necessarily match the history of the case. I'm presuming that you two may be wondering when people started going around missing around the doll, huh? In my theory, it was nearly the same time as the birth of the doll, 100 years ago, that is. That's the worst case scenario possible. Simply speaking, if you multiply the current confirmed cases of victims by 5, it'll be more than 300. You stop glaring like that in my shop, would you? Sorry. Let me continue. Miyama's works are called Semimaru dolls, and they all share one specific feature. It's that they are all made like humans. I hate to interrupt you, but dolls are supposed to be made in imitation of humans, aren't they? That's exactly correct, but Miyama's devotion to his works was stronger than any other doll artist's. Some say he might have been trying to create a human being, and that he even lost his mind because of his own attachment. Emotion strong enough to break your mind? That's just like us. I'm not sure why, but I have this bad hunch that is growing stronger as she goes on. He even succeeded at establishing the concept of ball joints by himself, which wasn't generally systemized back then. Ball joints? Something that allows a doll's joints to move like a human's. Not just the physical appearance, but he tried to make his works like a human in terms of body function as well, correct? Yes, yes. The way his dolls look is also extraordinary. Whoops. And she is one of Semimaru's works, no mistake. And she is probably his last work. In fact, his posthumous work. The last work of someone with such a past. That sounds very shady. If he lost his mind to finish off the doll, I wouldn't be surprised at all for it to have turned into a material variant. I mean, it'd make more sense to consider it to have some kind of powers. There's nothing shady about her. She's really a splendid existence. Her being his last work makes her even more valuable. Have a look at this picture of her. It was taken 70 years ago by the owner back then. Following his instruction, I left my eyes at the picture. Eh, wait a second, what is this? Oh boy. Are you sure this is that doll? You can bet on it. But see, this looks much smaller than it currently is. It's almost half the size it is at the moment. Could someone have changed its size and maintenance? Unlikely. You wouldn't do that if you're familiar with dolls. And here's another picture of her from 40 years ago. The size of the doll looks somewhere in between the present and 70 years ago. I've had enough clues to figure out what Nadashi's trying to get across to me. In other words, you're saying that the doll has been growing like a human? Yes, yes. I'm not sure how, though. It could be some sort of supernatural power that makes her grow. Or she could be making changes to herself so she looks like she's growing up. But there's one thing for certain. She's a Pygmalion figure. Pygmalion? Pygmalion is a fictional figure in the Greek mythos who works as a sculptor as well as king of the Cyprus island, while holding a sense of distrust toward women. He carved a statue of his ideal woman based on a goddess and then fell in love with it. He shared a bed with her and gave her flowers just like a man does to a woman, crying out for her being unable to establish any emotional bond with her. A goddess could not stand seeing him that way, and she gave the statue life with the name of Galatia. Pygmalion at last got together with his ideal woman. It's a man from the Greek mythos who falls in love with the statue he made himself. In the myth, his wish is granted and a god gives life to the statue. Nanashi, you think that doll has become a human being now? Technically, I'm thinking she's a material variant that tries to act human. Once born as a doll, she'll always be a doll. A doll trying to act human, huh? It makes much more sense to think that way. Makes much more sense for what? Remember how I told you this case smelled human when you first asked me some advice about it? Yeah? Of course it smells human, because she's been acting human in order to become a human. Hold on a second, you think the doll is responsible for this whole series of missing cases? I wouldn't say all of them, but most of them. In that sense, half of my original advice was correct, but the other half was wrong. The case of smelling a human culprit was right, but the case being caused by a human was wrong. So, I felt like I was fighting a person because she was trying to act human at that time too. Kashiwama, did you fight her? Yes, last night. She got away though. Boy, I wish I'd been there too. It's not that I want to nitpick, but there are several things that I can't make sense of in his theory. Nanashi, your theory has left some things unclear to me. I share his opinion on this. I don't see the connection between the doll acting human and the missing owners. That's right. Why kidnap people when you want to become human? That doesn't make any sense. I think there are more appropriate things that you should try to become more human, like walking under the sun or pretending to eat. This is complicated, but if you ask me, you should consider kidnapping to be the most appropriate thing to do. Care to elaborate? Let's say she was born under the influence of someone's desire for her to be human. But she wasn't given a manual that defines what it means to be human. So when she started to think about the definition, she needed to observe human beings. And the doll would observe the human to copy their behavior, which means... By the way, Miyao is also known to be a misanthrope, and intensely refused contact with others. And he would only go out after sunset. And that made the doll a complete shut-in? Yes. But that still leaves the question of why she kidnaps people. Maybe Miyama actually happened to be a vicious serial kidnapper. I'm not sure this is that simple, but there must have been some kind of trigger. Question is, what kind of person was around the doll? Just so you know, there are no records that hint at Miyama being a criminal. He was so much of a misanthrope, he wouldn't talk to or let anyone get close to him, or other than his immediate family members. It's hard to imagine that someone like that would try to approach other people, whatever the reason. To begin with, he passed away shortly after he made her. That there might have been someone else that she observed as a sample besides Miyama. The most likely answer would be the one who owned the doll after his death. It could be his family or someone who regularly came in and out his atelier. Either way, what's most important would be who influenced her the most. If we find out the doll's motives for the kidnappings, we may be able to figure out when and how it does it, or what we should do about it. Someone who is deeply involved with the doll. The man named Tamura would be in that position at present. He used to own the doll and contacted Rin about it. The doll turned into a material variant 100 years ago, and normally thinking it shouldn't have anything to do with him. Scenarios available in other districts, okay. Shiharu's apartment. Whoops. Shiharu. Alright. I made myself a bigger lunch than usual because I hadn't eaten much since last night. It's even worse than having no appetite. Just face the food and I'll stop moving my chopsticks in a second. Not only via text, I even talked to Emikawa on the phone. Remember how his voice sounded through the phone makes my heart ache. The experience has dramatically changed how I look at Golden Week. The dull, boring holidays have turned into fabulous, memorable days. Actually, this series of lucky events takes a big weight off my mind. Usually my obsession with him spills out even if I try to suppress it, but I'm calm now, content with the progress I've made. I don't think I could be any luckier, and I'm sure I'm going to be able to spend the rest of the break without being distracted about thinking about what he's doing. Of course, I can't avoid missing him or feeling about him. Business district. Thank you for coming over. I express my gratitude to the friend who came all the way here on such a short notice. Mina Mikawa. Don't mention it! I was actually hanging out around the station. So did my gift satisfy you? Ah, well, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about. Oh, did it sour your relationship? No, that's not it. Well, I mean, thank you for that. Smirk. You're the first person I've ever seen who says smirk when they're actually smirking. Okay, so what, you want to talk about the knick-knack shop? Yeah, there's something I want you to check out, but it's something hard to send through email. Is it the so-called classified information? Yeah, something like that. Holy crap, that makes both of us like characters in spy movies. Also, I don't want to get Mina Mikawa in any trouble by having him possess the image data. Is this the man you saw arguing with the shop manager? I show him the picture of Tamura. I don't have any particular reason except that both Tamura and the man Mina Mikawa said he's seen were wearing suits. Still, I thought it'd be worth confirming considering how often I hear the names Tamura and Sojima during my investigation. I might be overthinking it, or... This is the guy. He was arguing with the shop manager. I was right. I had this feeling that he'd been trying to let us, the disobeyers, witness him. But now I can tell it is his purpose, and he's one of the main figures in this case. Are you sure? I am. He has this very unique atmosphere around him, doesn't he? When I saw him fighting, he looked pretty calm while the manager was completely furious. Did the manager seem that intense to you? Yeah, but I was a little too far from them. I couldn't make out what they were talking about. The manager didn't sound like he was just mad. It was more like he was one-sidedly yelling at this guy. And that's why I thought it wasn't that big of a deal back then. Judging from Mina Mikawa's perspective, the fight between the two men wasn't that severe. It was like a puppy trying to scare off a big dog. The arrogant shop manager against the mysterious man who fended off his complaints. Given the shop manager's injury and Tamura's suspicious activities after a fight, that makes Mina Mikawa what Mina Mikawa witnessed could be much of a help solving the case. Thanks. Please make sure you don't tell anyone else anything about this. Also, no more searching for the doll. If you see anything like that, just stay away from it. I'm not threatening you, I'm just worried about your safety. After Nadashi's theory and the doll, I can't underestimate the danger it poses. Was what I saw actually something pretty important? Might have been. If this were a movie, I'd ignore your warning, get close to the doll just because I wanted to impress you. Yeah! That does sound like a horror movie where everyone makes a freaking bad decision. But I'd get killed and Emikawa's anger would be unleashed. What a touching story. Please don't let any of that happen. No worries, I'm not the kind of moron who ignores his friend's advice. I'm sorry about that, even though I'm the one who asked you for assistance. That was all me. As far as I can judge from your action, I don't think I've been of much help. Neither with your work nor your romance, right? He's right about both, although I decided not to answer the question because I'm surprised and annoyed by it. By the way, you said you were looking for some antique, didn't you? Yeah, but I'm in no rush to find it. I could help you with it. Because of my job, I sometimes visit places not many people go. I see. You might have access to places that I don't. Are you sure you want to help me with that? Of course. I thought he would refuse my offer because he really cares about his supposed debt to me. He must really want to get his hands on this. What is it you're looking for? A pocket watch. That's kind of cool. It's not just any pocket watch. What I want is very specific. It's a wind-up brass watch made in Switzerland around 50 years ago. Alright, I know what brass is. Got any pictures of it? No, I've seen it lots of time in person, but never taken a picture of it. That leaves me no choice but trusting my own eyes, but I can't tell how old the clock might be or what it could be made of. Yeah, you don't seem too good for that sort of thing. I might not know those difficult things, but I think I can keep an eye out for pocket watches. If I run into something that looks right, I'll take a picture of it and show it to you. How's that sound? That'll be a huge help. Maybe I could ask Nadashi about this after the case is closed. Without any pictures of the target, it'd be hard for him to find it. It'd probably be better and faster to have him collect clues about similar watches from long term. It'd make the cost pretty hefty. But it won't be a problem as long as it's for Minamikawa. He says he owes me, but I say the opposite. I can live my life like this because of him. We are going to end this episode here. We've made some interesting revelations about the doll, which last episode, Roku had an epic battle with it, if you didn't see that episode. The doll is over 100 years old. The guy disguised as Sojima is someone who is one of the original owners of the doll. And just, holy crap, we've made a lot of progress. That'll be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.